Oh, have you got anything to talk about?
I'm sick, so it's amazing I'm out here and I managed to make you dinner.
Yeah, thank you. So, looks as though we'll just be talking about Elvis still taking care of business. So, Elvis was into taking care of business even before back when Turner Overdrive was. I don't think it was a full decade, but it was probably more than half a decade. So this is Memories and Insights about Elvis Presley from his friend and bodyguard, Sonny West. And of course it's written with Marshall Terrell. I don't think poor Sonny West read many books. And that was even before he met Elvis. Of course, after he met Elvis and was hanging with him, there was a lot of go-kart racing and commandeering fairs after hours, like going on roller coasters and probably bumper cars and stuff like that. And commandeering movie theaters after hours for all, not late night sessions, but early morning sessions of movies, picking out on movies. And probably popcorn and butter. Maybe Elvis had the concessions make grilled peanut butter and banana sandwiches. I like the way they put the Elvis spelled in gold. It's like his gold lame suit from the 50s. And here Elvis Presley is written in gold. And of course Sonny has his own name in gold here. Well, it's kind of like a Sonny sort of thing. Different meaning for spelling Sonny and stuff like that. So I really love it. Like I found some of the pages were sticking together. And I'm looking at what keeps it stuck together. And it's kind of peanut butter color. So I think this Elvis Presley fan that bought this book was a fan of maybe something like peanut butter, real peanut butter and
Or maybe they wanted a more authentic Elvis experience.
Maybe it's just a joke, you said, go put this on the used book market. But it's quite a few pages. I was getting annoyed with it, and I realized, hey, that's what it could be. And then each passing page, the 2 pages stuck together, I enjoyed it more.
That's a lot.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about. Like, see, and 2 pages more. Like that, It's more like mustard. This person like grilled hot dog and banana sandwiches or something like that. But you can see I'm not making some of the stuff I've kind of scraped off, so it doesn't look quite as, like more at the beginning. But they had a real fun time.
I know. When I first started getting used books, I was creeped out. I didn't want to get used books because I
used to let them sit, for a long while before I touched them. Like maybe a month or something like that, hoping the hepatitis would dissipate. Because they say hepatitis can last a month. So I get that from a health professional, but we've got all sorts of stuff from that professional. Yeah, except treatment, proper treatment. But we've got disrespect and disinformation and this sort of stuff. I'm not saying they're all that way, but
no,
significant
I
majority.
would, if they say a month, then I think I lean the other way. It might be indefinitely. It might just last
forever.
Because
it's just like the coronavirus. You don't want to overreact now.
Yeah, exactly.
There might be hepatitis on there, but think of the cost. So I think I'll just go for that doorknob,
Yeah.
Such inconvenience, I might not be able to get through that door. Never mind that there's supposed to be 2 at least exits to every place, and many places have 2 entrances as well. So this is not, this guy's claiming he's a friend. He and his cousin, who are the 2 main bodyguards for Elvis for much of Elvis's career, from let's say about 60 to about 76. They eventually wrote a tell-all kind of book. I think it was published about 76. That's how they ended up losing their jobs. And they claim that they were trying to get Elvis straight. Well, like if I got a problem and someone goes to set me straight by, exposing it in, to the tabloids.
Exploiting me? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really
That's
friendly.
ridiculous.
So he's claiming he's a friend now from his friend and I keep on reading because it's upside down, boyfriend, but bodyguard. Okay, so I don't want to be joking about that sort of stuff. If Elvis swung that way, that's his business, and people should be making fun of him. But I don't think he did. At any rate, he had problems with his sexuality. He liked women, well, not women, girls, way too young. I think he was going kind of like with Priscilla Beaulieu, later on Presley, when she was 14 or something. It's a serious problem. At any rate, not just for Elvis, but for the women or girls that he was involved. But Elvis had other problems, and Sonny just doesn't seem to understand it. Like he tells this one story, and he considers it kind of rival or something like that. It's kind of funny or something like that. So Elvis was doing, it might have been Flaming Star or some sort of semi-western or something like that, where he had to ride a horse. So he picks this horse out, I don't know, it was red something or other, to ride. He's got his choice of horses. And he gets on the horse, and the horse takes off. I think Elvis applied the bit a little bit too much.
Well, he probably had spurs on.
It was the bit, because, or at least that's what they figured, because then the horse just goes nuts. He's racing around. It eventually goes into the stable, and almost it's got like a low ceiling. It's for horses and riders. And he almost decapitates Elvis and almost guillotines him on the top of the door. So Elvis gets off. Now, what I do in that situation, I just thank my lucky stars and say, I'm never going to ride that horse. Elvis's response, he punches the horse in the face or in the jaw or whatever. And Sonny thinks that's really, really funny. But Sonny's the kind of guy who says there's only one time when someone punched him that he didn't punch back and end the fight. Now, I've been punched, and the way I ended the fight is not responding. The person, I'm not going to mention the name, he's a real doofus, but and that's not his real name, real doofus, but he punched me in the chest, thank heavens. It wasn't like in the jaw or something like that, but I just looked at him, kind of like the way Jim Morrison looks. So when you see, I think it's in New Haven or something like that, he's on stage, he's got the mic, and a couple of cops walk up, and one of them takes the mic from him, and it's just like, hey, what happened, that sort of stuff. So but the one time, of course, that Sonny didn't respond, he was cold cocked, he was sucker punched by, guess who? Elvis Presley, his employer. Can you believe that? So Elvis Presley, according to Sonny, was a great guy. He just had these little problems with drugs. When people have got problems with amphetamines, with stuff that affects other people, it becomes or when potentially it can affect other people, and not just when people are driving or whatever, then I think it's an ethical problem. I think we make a mistake by thinking of alcoholism or addiction as being a disease. I think that's a mistake, actually. I think what it is actually is to a large extent, both. I think it's less problematic. You can kind of see it as a disease, but not strictly speaking. There's at least an element, I think more of an element of injury. And sadly, it's a self-inflicted injury unless someone, let's say, has been treated for bad pain and have been given opiates, for example. But so many addictions are actually like self-inflicted injuries. And in that situation, I'm a little less sympathetic. We're dealing with methamphetamines, crystal meth, and things like that, where people are just tend to be out of control and things like that. So you end up with this weird behavior by Elvis, where he's punching horses, punching his bodyguard, who says basically that he's never lost a fight. And there was a reason why he was a bodyguard, and I think it's because he basically probably never lost a fight. So there's this stupid Elvis Presley sucker punching, like what Sonny West says is it brought tears to his eyes, but it was kind of like tears because a friend could do that to him. In other words, he would have been ready to just clean Elvis's clock. So Elvis wasn't just a bad friend, he was an idiot, like taking on someone like that. Another thing is, I don't know, I don't think I'd want to punch a horse. I don't think I'd want to get a horse mad at me. But what they found out about the horse was it hadn't been ridden for maybe several weeks, maybe several months or something like that. So its mouth wasn't all calloused.
They were probably being kind, trying to make Elvis look better. He probably had no idea how to ride a horse, and he was probably treating it badly.
It's hard to say. Later on, I think it was after this movie, he actually made a ranch, kind of like out of an area just south.
Doesn't mean he knew anything about how to ride horses.
The descriptions of it seems to say he at least looked magnificent. Back then,
that's what they would have wanted.
Like I would look magnificent on a horse because I'd be going like this. You see what I'm saying? That would be even before. So at least he knew how. You know what I'm saying? Maybe had overconfidence, but he had a certain degree of confidence. So. But they say that he looked magnificent because he was a magnificent blonde beast, or blondish beast. His natural hair color wasn't dark, black as portrayed in the movies. It was actually and the other thing they say is he grew a beard, so he looked good. So I get that magnificent blonde beast. The blonde beast, the blonde bestia from Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche talks about the blonde beast. I think that's kind of supposed to be the Superman. It's kind of scary. But I think Hitler kind of idolized blonde beasts, and maybe there was a certain degree of not so much jealousy, but compensation, overcompensation, because he might have been a beast, but he definitely wasn't blonde. Anyway, do I recommend this? By no means spend any money on this. And this is about the third book that I've read. It's basically autobiography, or a biography. This is also autobiography, partial autobiography of Sonny West. But a biography of Elvis, and the story doesn't get any better. Actually, it's not just depressing; it's kind of disgusting. And I remember when I was a kid, I was too young for Elvis, and he always seemed like an old. Well, I won't say what I was going to say, but an old over-the-hill guy. This is like even before he was 30. Or around, when he was about 21 and stuff like that. But, I used to look at him, and, this is before he turned 30. I said, man, there's something wrong with his eyes. He just looked really unstable to me. And maybe kids can sense some of these things. It's a matter of preservation. Especially when they're looking at guys. It's like, this guy looks scary to me. Anyway, probably don't even waste your time reading it, although the ghostwriter actually did a pretty good job writing it. And it's maybe a slightly different angle on the usual Elvis Presley stuff. The stuff that I'm used to reading is stuff like Jerry Hopkins or Pete Goralnik or stuff like that. One of them wrote something like Careless Love.
That parsley and red cabbage isn't going to get any better.
But just by sitting here, it's the... so this book is not going to get any better either. But I kind of took it down. It wasn't bad reading, it wasn't like... but it wasn't healthy. So it's not... it wasn't bad reading like drinking this power juice thing would be, but it's definitely not good for your health. It's not really bad for your health. But if you have an exclusive diet of that sort of stuff, it might be. Anyway, there you go.